And, you know, she starts crying. She starts talking about, you know, her husband. She's been married for X amount of years. He makes her sleep on the sofa, in the kitchen floor. And, you know, I can tell, like, you know, she's a victim of domestic violence. Mind you, she has like 20-year-old kids, 2 kids, educated kids that go to college. But no one's really seeing her. And, you know, so I meet her one time and I tell her, like, hey, this is what I could do for you. I could file a divorce. I could file a restraining order so you're safe. But, you know, I really couldn't help her because, you know, she didn't see that what was happening to her was a bad thing. Like, she grew up, you know, as a woman in an Indian household, and she was trained to be submissive. Like, this is my job, to be a wife and to be a mother. You know, if he hits me, it's fine. It's part of my duty, you know? But this woman was very educated. Her family was very educated. But here she was in my office, just kind of stuck in life. And, you know, I tell her, hey, here's what I can do for you. Let me know when you want me to start. You know, she leaves. You know, I don't hear from her from a week, 2 weeks, a month. But she shows up again like, hey, I want to talk to you. But this time she shows up with her friends. We have the same conversation. I give her the same remedies. And she leaves. And then she comes back again, this time with her 2 kids. And, you know, the kids are afraid. They're afraid of father. They're afraid of what he's going to do. They don't want to testify against him. But they also see that the mom is a victim of domestic violence. And, you know, like dad keeps saying, I'm going to kick you out of the house. I'm going to make you homeless. I'm going to make the kids homeless. So the abuse is just getting higher and higher over time, you know. So we're like 3-4 months in. And at this point, it's like, I can't do anything for this person because she's just so brainwashed, and she thinks that she deserves that. And even the people around her are telling her, like, hey, mom, you need to do something for yourself. Her friends are telling her, hey, I'll come with you to the lawyer's office. You know, let's get some help. This is not okay. So she leaves again with her kids. I don't see her, you know, after a month. One day she knocks on my door and I'm like, hey, nice to see you again. What's going on? How can I help you? You know, and I tell her, I was like, it's just like we're just talking every time and I can't really help you until you help me. And then she leaves again. And one day, you know, she comes to my office and she says, I'm ready. I want to file. And there's nothing that I did. Like, she just like changed. She was ready. She's like, I need help. I need my rights. I'm ready for my life to change. So it wasn't until she felt that she was ready for this next stage of her life that I was able to help her. So at that time, I understood how serious and how powerful the domestic violence cycle is. You know, I couldn't help her. Like, I was in a window looking at her just helpless and like seeing that she's being abused, but I couldn't help her until she opened the door and was ready to be, you know, to get some legal help. So at that time, when she kind of freed herself from that vicious cycle of violence, that's when I was able to help her. So that's, as an attorney, that's when I realized that, you know, until a victim of domestic violence is able to come out of that cycle and ask for help and kind of see themselves as a survivor, I can't do anything. I have to just be waiting for them and just be, you know, because I'm not going through the situation that they are. You know, they've had this cultural upbringing, and, you know, they have their relationships. You know, they have so much stress and abuse that they're going through. Me just telling them, let's file a divorce, let's file a restraining order, is not going to help. I have to wait for them, and I have to be an ally. I have to just encourage them on their journey. I can't make that decision for them. So that's why, you know, I really like working with domestic violence survivors and being a part of their journey to freedom and getting this legal help that, you know, whenever they're ready, I'm there for them.